A ground fault circuit interrupter, or GFCI, receptacle requires a separate neutral wire if other receptacles are also on the same circuit. Refer to the 2020 National Electrical Code, Article 406.3d for details. A GFCI is a safety device that detects when there is a difference in current between the hot and neutral wires. If it senses a ground fault, which is a leakage of current through the ground path, it quickly opens the circuit to prevent electrical shock. To ensure the proper operation of a GFCI, it requires a separate neutral wire to establish a reference point for current comparison. Without a separate neutral, the GFCI cannot accurately detect a ground fault and may not trip when needed. When other receptacles are on the same circuit as a GFCI, they should be downstream of the GFCI. This means that the GFCI is installed at the beginning of the circuit, and the other receptacles are wired after the GFCI. In this configuration, the GFCI will provide protection for all the receptacles in the circuit. It is important to note that depending on the local electrical code requirements, a separate neutral wire may not be necessary for GFCI receptacles that are installed in specific locations, such as outdoor areas or bathrooms. Always check with your local building inspector for the applicable code requirements in your area. The reason a GFCI needs a neutral wire to function properly is based on how it detects ground faults. The GFCI constantly monitors the current flowing through the hot wire and the neutral wire. Under normal operating conditions, the current flowing through both wires should be equal. Any difference in current indicates that some current is leaking out of the circuit, potentially through a person who is touching a live wire or a faulty appliance. This leakage current is called a ground fault. The GFCI is designed to trip, meaning it quickly cuts off the power when it detects a ground fault exceeding a certain threshold, typically around 5 mA. This rapid interruption of power prevents electrical shock. Without a dedicated neutral wire, the GFCI cannot accurately measure the current balance between the hot and neutral wires. This is because the neutral wire provides the return path for the current flowing through the circuit. If multiple receptacles share a single neutral wire, the current flowing through that neutral wire will be the sum of the currents from all the receptacles. This makes it impossible for the GFCI to determine whether a ground fault is occurring at a specific receptacle. To ensure proper operation, each GFCI receptacle must have its own dedicated neutral wire that runs directly back to the circuit breaker panel. This allows the GFCI to accurately monitor the current flowing through the hot and neutral wires for that specific receptacle and detect any ground faults. When wiring receptacles downstream of a GFCI, the neutral wires for those receptacles must also be connected to the load side of the GFCI. This ensures that the GFCI protects all the receptacles in the circuit. The NEC specifies requirements for GFCI protection in various locations, including bathrooms, kitchens, garages, outdoor areas, and near water. These requirements are intended to reduce the risk of electrical shock in areas where people are more likely to come into contact with water or grounded surfaces. The specific requirements for GFCI protection may vary depending on the addition of the NEC and local amendments. Therefore, it is always essential to consult the latest version of the NEC and local electrical codes to ensure compliance. When installing GFCI receptacles, it is crucial to follow the manufacturer's instructions carefully. The instructions will provide detailed information on proper wiring techniques and testing procedures. It is also important to use the correct type of wiring and connectors for the application. Incorrect wiring or improper connections can compromise the safety and effectiveness of the GFCI. After installing a GFCI receptacle, it should be tested regularly to ensure that it is functioning properly. Most GFCI receptacles have a test button that can be used to simulate a ground fault. When the test button is pressed, the GFCI should trip and cut off the power. If the GFCI does not trip, it may be faulty and should be replaced. In addition to the test button, a GFCI tester can be used to verify the wiring and operation of the receptacle. A GFCI tester typically plugs into the receptacle and provides an indication of whether the receptacle is properly wired and whether the GFCI is functioning correctly. If the GFCI tester indicates a wiring problem or a faulty GFCI, the receptacle should be inspected and repaired or replaced as necessary. It is important to note that GFCI receptacles are not a substitute for proper grounding. Grounding provides a path for fault current to flow back to the source, which helps to prevent electrical shock and damage to equipment. All electrical circuits should be properly grounded in accordance with the NEC and local electrical codes. GFCI receptacles and grounding work together to provide comprehensive electrical safety. GFCI receptacles protect against ground faults, while grounding provides a path for fault current to flow back to the source. It is also important to be aware of the limitations of GFCI receptacles. GFCI receptacles only protect against ground faults. They do not protect against overloads or short circuits. Overloads and short circuits can damage equipment and cause fires. Overcurrent protection devices, such as circuit breakers and fuses, are used to protect against overloads and short circuits. GFCI receptacles should be used in conjunction with overcurrent protection devices to provide comprehensive electrical safety. When selecting GFCI receptacles, it is important to choose receptacles that are rated for the intended application. GFCI receptacles are available in various ratings, including 15 amps and 20 amps. The rating of the receptacle should match the rating of the circuit breaker or fuse that protects the circuit. It is also important to choose GFCI receptacles that are listed by a recognized testing laboratory, such as Underwriters Laboratories or UL. Listed receptacles have been tested and certified to meet safety standards. When replacing existing receptacles with GFCI receptacles, it is important to turn off the power to the circuits of the circuit breaker panel. This will prevent electrical shock. Before removing the existing receptacle, it is helpful to take a picture of the wiring connections. This will make it easier to wire the new GFCI receptacle correctly. When wiring the GFCI receptacle, it is important to connect the wires to the correct terminals. The hot wire, which is typically black, should be connected to the terminal marked hot. The neutral wire, which is typically white, should be connected to the terminal marked neutral. The ground wire, which is typically green or bare copper, should be connected to the ground terminal. After wiring the GFCI receptacle, it should be tested to ensure that it is functioning properly. The test button on the receptacle should be pressed to simulate a ground fault. The GFCI should trip and cut off the power. If the GFCI does not trip, it may be faulty and should be replaced. In addition to GFCI receptacles, GFCI circuit breakers are also available. GFCI circuit breakers provide GFCI protection for the entire circuit. GFCI circuit breakers are typically used in applications where it is not practical to install GFCI receptacles, such as in branch circuits that feed multiple receptacles. GFCI circuit breakers are installed in the circuit breaker panel and provide the same level of protection as GFCI receptacles. When installing GFCI circuit breakers, it is important to follow the manufacturer's instructions carefully. The instructions will provide detailed information on proper wiring techniques and testing procedures. It is also important to use the correct type of wiring and connectors for the application. Incorrect wiring or improper connections can compromise the safety and effectiveness of the GFCI circuit breaker. After installing a GFCI circuit breaker, it should be tested regularly to ensure that it is functioning properly. The test button on the circuit breaker should be pressed to simulate a ground fault. The GFCI circuit breaker should trip and cut off the power. If the GFCI circuit breaker does not trip, it may be faulty and should be replaced. Regular testing of GFCI receptacles and circuit breakers is essential to ensure that they are providing the intended level of protection. GFCI protection is an important safety feature that can help to prevent electrical shock. By understanding how GFCI receptacles and circuit breakers work and following proper installation and testing procedures, you can help to ensure the safety of yourself and others. Remember to always consult with a qualified electrician if you have any questions or concerns about electrical safety. Electrical work can be dangerous, and it is important to take all necessary precautions to prevent electrical shock and fire. The NEC Article 406.3d specifically addresses replacement of receptacles. When replacing receptacles in locations where GFCI protection is required, the replacement receptacle must also be GFCI protected. This can be achieved by either replacing the existing receptacle with a GFCI receptacle or by installing a GFCI circuit breaker that protects the entire circuit. The NEC also allows for the use of a non-GFCI receptacle if it is supplied by a GFCI protected circuit. This is often done when it is not practical to install a GFCI receptacle in a specific location, such as behind a refrigerator. In these cases, the circuit breaker that feeds the receptacle is replaced with a GFCI circuit breaker. It is important to note that the NEC requires that all 125 volt, 15 amps and 20 amps receptacles installed in certain locations be GFCI protected. These locations include bathrooms, kitchens, garages, outdoor areas, and near water. The specific requirements for GFCI protection may vary depending on the addition of the NEC and local amendments. Therefore, it is always essential to consult the latest version of the NEC and local electrical codes to ensure compliance. In addition to GFCI protection, arc fault circuit interrupter, or FSI, protection is also required in many locations. FSI protection is designed to protect against arc faults, which are a common cause of electrical fires. FSI circuit breakers detect arc faults and quickly cut off the power to prevent a fire from starting. The NEC requires FSI protection for all branch circuits that supply 120 volt, 15 amps and 20 amps receptacles in dwelling units. This requirement has been expanded over the years to include more and more circuits. It is important to understand the difference between GFCI protection and FSI protection. GFCI protection protects against ground faults, while FSI protection protects against arc faults. Both types of protection are important for electrical safety. GFCI receptacles and circuit breakers should be tested monthly to ensure that they are functioning properly. The test button on the receptacle or circuit breaker should be pressed to simulate a fault. The device should trip and cut off the power. If the device does not trip, it may be faulty and should be replaced. Electrical safety is a serious matter. It is important to take all necessary precautions to prevent electrical shock and fire. If you have any questions or concerns about electrical safety, consult with a qualified electrician. An electrician can inspect your wiring and make recommendations for improving electrical safety in your home or business. Proper wiring practices are crucial for electrical safety. All wiring should be done in accordance with the NEC and local electrical codes. Wires should be properly sized for the load that they will be carrying. Connections should be tight and secure. Damaged or frayed wires should be replaced immediately. Overloaded circuits are a common cause of electrical fires. Avoid overloading circuits by plugging too many appliances into a single outlet or circuit. If you are using extension cords, make sure that they are properly sized for the load that they will be carrying. Do not run extension cords under rugs or furniture, as this can damage the cords and create a fire hazard. Appliances should be properly maintained to prevent electrical hazards. Damaged appliances should be repaired or replaced immediately. Do not use appliances with frayed cords or damaged plugs. Keep appliances away from water to prevent electrical shock. Children should be taught about electrical safety. Teach children not to play with electrical outlets or appliances. Keep electrical cords out of reach of children. Cover unused electrical outlets with safety caps. In the event of an electrical emergency, call 911 immediately. Do not attempt to put out an electrical fire with water. Use a fire extinguisher that is rated for electrical fires. If someone is being shocked, do not touch them directly. Use a non-conductive object, such as a wooden broom handle, to separate the person from the electrical source. First, ensure your safety and turn off the power source if possible before providing assistance. When dealing with electrical systems and GFCI protection, remember the importance of grounding. Grounding ensures a safe path for electrical current in the event of a fault, helping to prevent shocks and fires. It is also essential to use the correct wiring methods and materials for each application. Improper wiring can lead to dangerous situations. Also, do not underestimate the value of regular electrical inspections. A qualified electrician can identify potential hazards and ensure that your electrical system is up to code.